It's an Air Max 90, but it looks much more like another brother from the Air Max line. And which one am I talking about? We'll get into that today, but we've got an awful lot to talk about. Except for that, on top of that, it's such a beautiful shoe. The only thing I can describe this as is a jewel. This is an absolute gem of a sneaker, and I was taken aback by it. My breath was taken away when I saw this for the first time. I had no idea this sneaker was out there, never seen anything like it before. Sparks off tons of thoughts in my mind about Air Max 90s, like the recent ones we've had with the swoosh marts and the rice balls and the Chicago's. There's been tons of Air Max 90s recently, and then here we are with this, and it doesn't look like an Air Max 90. It looks like a different Air Max, and we'll get into that, but we'll also get into which Air Force One it kind of looks like as well, and then we'll get into all the fire detail, and it's so tiny and delicate on this shoe, but absolutely clean as a whistle. This is a great shoe to look at. I'm really enjoying bringing this to you guys today as we talk about the upcoming release of the Nike Air Max 90 Laser Wood Grain. This is the Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Bada 23 Sneaker Channel. 毎日アップするので毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I haven't missed a single day for something like 850 days. And it's always there, daily content on YouTube, bring this beautiful Air Max 90. I said already to wild claims, and that it looks like an Air Force One, and it also looks like a different Air Max sneaker. So we'll start with the Air Force One. I'll bring you this. I don't know how many of you are aware of it, ever seen it, or remember it, but what that is the Air Force One clot rose gold, and a beautiful shoe in and of itself with a removable upper, which is a beautiful addition to that shoe, and it's a real high praise. It's really high praise to put this shoe today, this Air Max 90, in the same sort of bracket as that shoe. That's an iconic, beautiful collaboration, one of the best we've seen in recent years, and then this guy is right up there beside it. I don't believe it's a collaboration. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments down below, but I'm pretty sure it's just a straight Nike shoe with no other companies getting involved, but it's beautiful, and that rose gold feel on the colorway of the upper is exactly like those rose golds from the Air Force Ones in the clot line. And then we've got the other Air Max this looks like. Now you might already have seen this or twigged it and got the idea that I'm going for, but to me the silhouette, the outline of the shoe, the shape of the shoe, so we're not talking about the branding, we're not talking about the placement of the hits on the shoe and that kind of stuff, we're talking about the actual outline, the silhouette, the kind of shadow of the shoe, to me looks much more like an Air Max 1 than an Air Max 90, and there's two reasons that I think that. One is that the top line, hopefully you're able to see that here, just seems like it dips a little bit lower than an Air Max 90 normally would, and that feels a bit more like an Air Max 1 to me. And the other feature about it is it's got a very long, thin feel to it, whereas the Air Max 90s tend to feel a bit chunkier, a bit higher, but this doesn't have that sense. It really does feel like an Air Max 1. Now it might very well be that this is like a Sean Wotherspoon style, sticking the Air Max 97 upper on the Air Max 1 outsole, I think I'm right in saying, if I've got that shoe right. So we've got an Air Max 90 outsole and an Air Max 1 upper, but I don't think so, because there's enough hits on the upper there, even though they're not in the same materials as an Air Max 90, they're in the same design and placement as an Air Max 90. So for me it's just a straight up Air Max 90 shoe, and it's got that elongated kind of long thin feel that an Air Max 1 would have, slightly lower top line on there as well, and one of the main features is that it's not 3D, which sounds a bit like a weird thing to say, but what I mean by that is that the Air Max 90s tend to be quite layered, with mud guards and side panels and toe boxes and just a bunch of different swooshes. Everything is sort of multi-layered on the Air Max 90s, but these guys, it's just a clean, smooth upper, and it's the laser in the upper that gives it design, and not the different materials that are stacked one on top of the other. So when I say this doesn't have a 3D feel to it, it feels like it's more kind of smooth, and it's got a clean finish to it, which is a bit more to me like an Air Max 1 than an Air Max 90. But there is one place on the shoe that is kind of 3D, and we'll get to that in today's video. So now into it, looking at the shoe itself, we've looked at the kind of background of it, a little bit of the story of it, but we're going to start off with the upper itself and go have a look at this laser wood grain on the toe of the shoe. So we've got that up behind us here on the green screen, and you can see the detailing that's going on there, and it's absolutely fire. Basically, the upper is split into three different designs. You've got the larger swirly wood grain that you get in the bigger panels of the shoe, but then I'll hopefully be able to transition to somewhere else on that lateral side that will give you an impression of the smaller swirly elements of the shoe. And then in other places you've got these lines that come in where you'd normally have lines in the rubber on Air Max 90s, but instead you have it in the laser design on these guys. And then there's a fourth actually as well when I think about it, which is a kind of tumbled leather effect in the swooshes and the high up on the ankle of these guys. So hopefully I've been able to sort of transition through the shoe and show you all four of those: the big swirls of wood, the small swirls of wood, the kind of parallel lines in the design, and then that tumbled leather feel. But all of that is coming at us from that laser etching feel, the laser wood grain on the shoe, and it's absolutely beautiful. So let's go up and have a look at the laces on these guys so I can give you an idea of what I'm talking about. The Air Max 90 has classic lace stays, one high and one low on the lacing system in rubber, usually with that parallel lines, kind of there's a word for it, I can't put my finger on it, but that grating effect in the rubber like that. And that's gone in material, but it's still there in design. You can see those straight lines embedded in the material on these guys. And again, that's how this has that 2D feature or 2D feel to it instead of that 3D feel to it. But then if we come down onto the swooshes, we'll have a look at those guys there and get that tumbled leather feel that's going on there. And a real classic kind of element of the Air Max 90s is usually a smaller swoosh on the side because it's overpowered by all the different panels and the different materials on there. And then back from that we get to one of the classic Air Max 90 features, which is the window, the branding window on the side towards the back of the shoe, kind of halfway between the midfoot and the heel. And again, in the case of these guys, it's still there etched in, although it's not sort of depressed below the other materials on the shoe, which is what you normally see with an Air Max 90. So so very clean, very smooth shoe, very fine, like smart, straight shoe. There's no secrets on it. It's really just it's what you see. It's very beautiful and very sleek. That's the word I'm looking for. But when we go around to the heel, that all changes up a little bit. This rose gold colorway continues coming around with us, but on the heel side of things, you've got that classic Air Max 90 sort of, I don't know how you do it, oblong, it's probably not oblong, panel of branding on the back there. And it's off the leather. It's got that three-dimensional effect that you don't see anywhere else on the shoe in the places you normally would see that. But on the back of it, they've preserved that 3D feel. But on top of that, they've also brought in a kind of roughed up effect around the edges of that branding panel on the heel there. So there's an extra bit of definition and an extra bit of design on the shoe. There isn't any extra bit of definition or design up on the top of the tongues or in the insoles. If we look from above onto the shoe and into the tongues and the insoles, you can see it's very standard Air Max 90 branding on these guys, but very much in that rose gold colorway. And then what's also very standard and very simple is if you go down to the midsole and have a look at a very standard white midsole. I like to call it an arrowhead unit around the Air unit, which is also in white and a very simple, not playing with it at all in any way. White to me might have been, I'm not sure if it's the right choice. I'd have to see it with other colours on it, but it feels like the rose gold is light and the white is light too. But maybe that provides a great transition to this, and what that is the semi-translucent white outsole on these guys. Got a grey effect because of that translucence, and really nice way to finish off the bottom of this shoe. And if you think about the rose gold and then the white on the midsole and then that outsole in the semi-translucence, it really kind of works and pulls it all together to a beautiful and fine shoe. So back out again, looking at the whole shoe. Hopefully what we're looking at here is just an absolutely clean and beautiful sleek shoe that everybody out there is absolutely interested in. Now I'm seeing this is kind of a major detail on these guys. I had to look around and I couldn't see it on Sneaker News at all, which is rare. Places like Sneaker Bar Detroit, don't think I saw it on there either, but it was Hypebeast that I managed to catch this and get some great pictures of it. But there it wasn't saying a drop date at all, so that's like 3 of the major internet sites not touching the drop date on these guys, or not touching them at all. But the UK website Sole Supplier gave us the drop date as being March the 30th. Now I don't know if one website is enough to take that to the bank or not. I don't know if the drop date really will come on March the 30th, but I will be keeping an eye out for these guys because they're absolutely clean. One of the nicest Air Max 90s we've had in the season, and it's a season full of Air Max 90s. So a very big shoe, a very cool shoe, and a great shoe for people to be chasing if they're looking for something sweet from the Air Max 90 line. For now though, it's time for me just to sign off and wrap this one up. So keeping that daily content going every single day, churning out the videos. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. And there's only, you know, at the end of the videos I say exactly the same thing like every single day. And I really want to get the point across that I do this every single day, 7 days a week, even on the weekends, that I do this every single day. And that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.